What's up, Bulldogs? All right, I got a question here. Someone wanted to know why I stopped acting. He says here, huge fan from Denmark for many years. I saw your video, You Are Not Qualified. I've heard this all my life, in which you mentioned that you wanted to be an actor. I'm in the field myself and have been for many years, although not in a way that I can make a living from it alone, but I do make commercials and such and write my own sketches. I've actually started having your videos running in the background while I'm writing sketches and rehearsing scripts. But what I wanted to hear is why you gave up acting. Was it because you didn't feel you had the talent, or do you feel, for example, that you're expressing yourself enough as an actor through the advice videos you've made? By the way, you've inspired me a lot. Yes, changed my life a lot. I use your quote life and death approach a lot, and in general, primarily the videos that deal with mental strength. Good to see you back. So, okay, why did I stop acting? Well, let me tell you my story of what happened, and that will sort of explain it. And then I actually did an acting role just recently, so that was pretty cool. That will be coming out in a movie. But let's talk about the story, right? So when I was 19 years old, I was self-taught as a software developer, right? I was learning C and C++, and I got this crazy job. I was living in Boise, Idaho at the time, and I got this crazy job offer to go work as a contractor for Xerox for like $75 an hour at the time. You know, this is 20 something years ago, right? And they're gonna pay me per diem as well, so there was like this tax-free part of it. It was just crazy. It was the equivalent of making, I think at the time, $180,000, $200,000 a year, like just insane amount of money, ridiculous, right? I'm 19. I hardly had a job interview. They were just like, yeah, you're hired. So at that time, when I was living in Boise, I was part of a modeling and acting agency there because I wanted to get into that. You know, I did some shoots and some commercial stuff, some little small stuff, but it was a small agency. It's in Boise, Idaho, right? So anyway, I said, okay, well, yeah, I'll move. I'm gonna move to California, right? I get my stuff, put it in my Geo Metro, leave my house, rent it out to my friend, and I tell the modeling agency, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna move to California. Actually, I'm gonna be in Santa Monica, California. And they're like, oh, great. We have other agencies that we work with, and we'll transfer you over there. We'll get you an agent over there, right? So I got this agent out of Costa Mesa, California. It was a modeling and acting agency. And so I went to Santa Monica, and I immediately enrolled in acting classes. And, you know, I did my first scene ever, my first real scene that I memorized. It was for Double Indemnity. And I remember going to the class, and you finally get to do your scene, and it just felt so, I mean, for my first time doing it, I'm not trying to clap myself on the back too hard, but I had the scene with this girl, which actually turned out to be the instructor's girlfriend. I didn't even know it at the time. It was a good thing, because it was sort of this very sexually tense scene where you're like, there's this line where it's like, is that an anklet you're wearing? And it was just this really intense scene. I just loved it. I just fell in love with it, right? Now I wasn't doing it for the vanity. I didn't want to be famous. I just wanted to act because, man, this was just so awesome, right? And so I went on some auditions, and the problem is that there's a lot of problems with Hollywood, but but one of the big problems at the time, at least, was that I had my work was in El Segundo, was where Xerox was, which is about 10 miles east of Santa Monica, you know, down the coast a little bit, if you're familiar with the area near Manhattan Beach. And then most of the auditions, they were in Burbank. So I would go into work, and then I'd get an audition that I would need to drive out to Burbank to do, and it would take me like sometimes 2 to 3 hours to get there, because LA traffic is always rush hour, right? So, and then it'd take me 2 or 3 hours to get back. I'm like, this can't work, right? I can't just leave my job. And I did it sometimes, and I had a lot of flexibility, but I have to give up one of these things. And at the job, I was making ridiculous money, and so it was like, well, I can't do this. I can't go on these auditions. And am I really gonna make it as an actor? Am I really gonna make money? Like, you know, I'm making real serious money here. I think it was a pretty obvious choice. But the mistake that perhaps I made is that I still didn't just go to class and pursue acting. I guess I did go to class. I did that, right? Eventually I gave that up, but I should have pursued it again later or continued to pursue it, but I didn't, because, you know, life got in the way and stuff, and so I've always enjoyed that. And that's probably why I ended up doing YouTube videos, and I've done some of the skits. If you've seen that, I've written some skits for some of the high quality videos on this channel and on my other channel, and we're shooting these, you know, high production videos, and that was great, and I love that. It's not a lot of acting in that case, but I recently had a chance to, if you guys know Captain Sinbad, Nikhil, he's shooting a movie, his own movie, and he invited me to be one of the characters in that movie. So I had to do an English accent, by the way, but it's like, I don't know if I can even pull it. Like the lines are something like, you know, what do you know about the Irish? Right? It's like, Our forefathers had the Great War and the Great Depression. Let me see, what other lines were there from that? It was like, only man chimes the hour. A cat cannot be late for an appointment. Dogs do not fret over the passage of time. It is man that has cultivated a dreadful fear of the unknown. I memorized those lines. We did the shoot, and it was amazing. It was just, wait till you guys see it. I think you're gonna love it. That's why I grew out the mustache, but I'm gonna keep the mustache. But anyway, it made me actually realize that, man, I love this. Like, I could have been there all day just shooting that scene over and over again. We actually got it on basically the first take, and then I did some extreme versions of it in variations and stuff. But it was, that's the thing that I wish I could just, and it's funny because I say I wish I could just do that. I could just do it, but eventually it's going to come around. I'm going to sign up for acting classes. That's my first step. I've got a few things I got to clear off my plate first with the business stuff, because you guys know business has tanked a lot, because I've been switching directions back and forth. And so, the big plan here is to get Bulldog Mindset membership going again. This channel funnels into the membership. That's where, I'm going to be producing new videos on there. And then to work on my offer for programmers with the other company on teaching mid-level developers to become senior level developers. And that will get the business where it needs to be, will free me up to be able to pursue the acting. But I definitely want to pursue it, and I didn't. I don't know, like, why did I stop acting? I do feel I have the talent for it. I enjoy doing it. I love theater. I mean, the thing is, the thing that I enjoy the most, right, hobby, is going and watching live theater. I just love it. I haven't seen a performance that I didn't love in some way, even horrible performances that I love, because I just love seeing people playing those roles and being on stage. It's just fantastic, and I love doing it myself. That's why I love giving talks as well, because in a way, it's acting. I mean, nothing lights me up or makes me feel more alive than getting on stage. I mean, that's true. It's always been true, and I suppose it will always be true. So definitely want to get back to that. So there you go. There's my story for the day, and why did I stop acting? I'm gonna get back into it. See you tomorrow.